And we have arrived to Florida, the final state, although I'm going to be here for a few days. I think this is the 8th state I've been in so far on this trip. I started in Kansas, went to Missouri, I dipped into Illinois for a minute, and then I went into Kentucky. And then actually right there, I also went into Indiana for a minute, and I basically went in to turn around. It was the end of, going over a bridge and coming back. I think that was Indiana. And then Tennessee, and Alabama, and Florida. So 8, maybe 7. I'm not sure at the end now that I think about it. But yeah, so heading to Bascom, Florida, the 7th smallest town in the state with 87. The towns are a little bit bigger in Florida for the smallest 10 towns. So it'll be interesting to see that. Just finished up in Bascom, interesting little town. And sometimes things just work out really well. You know, I was going to go to a town called Florala, I don't know. And as one of the, oddly named towns. And I was looking at Bascom, and it turns out that it said Faye Dunaway was from here. I said, well, she's not technically from here. She was from a nearby community called Two Egg. 2, the number 2, and egg. And I was like, huh. And sure enough, it's just a few miles from Bascom. So I thought, I'll make that the ending of my video, even though it's not in Alabama. No problem. It's close to Alabama. And it'll be a fun way to end that video, which I was looking for probably another, unusual town to visit. Done filming for the day. I did find a little bonus back in the woods in Two Egg. I think it was an abandoned church. So if you saw the video, you know what I'm talking about if you stayed till the end of that video. But yeah, so I'm trying to figure out where I'm staying. Trying to get to a couple of the 10 smallest towns tomorrow, but also I need to get to Fort Lauderdale, Miami area in a reasonable hour. So I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing. Not real prepared, but also going with the flow a little bit is probably how I need to do this trip. So I'll be heading towards the Gulf somewhere to try to stay. I'm in the town of Chattahoochee, Florida, and I've never been here before. And you might think of Alan Jackson when you hear Chattahoochee, but I'm going this way. I'm actually going the opposite way I need to go to, because I thought, you know what? I'll just go to another state. We are entering Georgia right now. If you like country music more than Alan Jackson, you could say we're just on the Florida-Georgia line. Let's go check out Chattahoochee. So I booked a room in Perry, Florida. That's kind of near where a couple towns are that I need to go see, but one is this Horseshoe Beach, which is way down a road. So I'm gonna at least go there tonight. It's about an hour and 15 minutes away. It's 5:45, so get there around 7:15, and kind of decide, whether tonight or tomorrow morning. Kind of see exactly how long it might take to be able to get to where I need to get to. Man, look at this sunset. Man, it's an awesome Florida sunset tonight.
101.7, The Christmas Mix.
Driving right into the sun this morning, and the sun is out and bright here in Florida. The temperature is rising, which is great. It's supposed to be in the 60s today, which is the first time I'll see that on this trip. I'm a little bit out of sorts. It's after 9 o'clock, went into the Eastern time zone, and I really didn't, I knew that, but it didn't connect with me, and so trying to figure out when to wake up. And I released a video this morning. This is Thursday, so it's 7 a.m. Central Time Thursday. I always release a video, Thursday and Sunday. And the night before, I always schedule it. You can schedule it so it'll just automatically start at that time. And so, but usually I'm up, around that time anyways. I really apologize for this glaring off my shirt and face. But so I wasn't thinking, and I just put 7 o'clock, and when you do it on your phone, it just does it by the local time. And so I put 7 o'clock Eastern, which is 6 o'clock Central, which is not a big deal to start an hour early, but somewhere in my sleep that connected, and I kind of, oh my goodness, I didn't release the video at the right time. And I know that not that many people care, but there are people that I know at 7 o'clock, they're sitting there watching the videos, and you don't know how much that means to me when I see all the views starting to happen at 7 a.m. And I just want to make sure in my brain, I was like, now does that mean it's 8 o'clock Central or 6? I was confused because I was in the middle of sleep. And so I woke up and it had already been released, and then I kind of got my day started late, and just, it's, is what it is. But I am going to end up in Fort Lauderdale tonight. So I already booked a hotel because I know I need to be there, and I'm going to try to get to two of the smallest towns. One is called Horseshoe Beach, which is pretty much out of the way. It's probably the most out of the way town on the list. It's down 20 miles down a road that ends up at the Gulf, but it's very just sparse, obviously sparsely populated, but just way down, a road that's takes a while to get to. It's an hour from where I'm at, and it's basically the closest hotel I could get, except for there was a room in Horseshoe Beach, I guess, but it did not have great ratings online, and I think it was like for people who want to fish. So I decided to stay in the hotel. 4 out of 5. The coffee, they had a little cup of coffee in the lobby, but other than that, it was really nice. The shower pressure was just over acceptable, and so yeah, 4 out of 5, and I should give like bonus point for being able to park in front of my room. I love parking right in front of the room. So yeah. So all right, so I'm gonna knock off a couple towns that are here near the Gulf, and then wander my way down to Fort Lauderdale. And not sure the route, but we'll figure it out as we go. When they're more remote like this, when they're down a long road that's not very many people are on, I really kind of get a little bit excited because I just know not very many people go this way. Now, there's people down here that I'm sure is like, oh yeah, I've been to Horseshoe Beach and all that kind of stuff, but not too many people from outside of the area probably have done a ton of driving down this road, and it's kind of cool getting to those remote places. People wonder what's the intrigue about that, and I'm not sure what that is. But whether I've been in somewhere in the United States or in some foreign country, like going, off into the, far distance where there's not a lot of people I guess I'm just curious. And that's why I like doing these kind of videos. So this is the actual, like I said, this is the 10th smallest town. So this is going to be the first town in the video. And I think it would be appropriate being like a little beach community. Horseshoe Beach was awesome. And you go to small towns. I love small towns and rural places like Kansas and Oklahoma and Texas and places like that. And then you go to one that's in a remote, beach location in sunny Florida. it's just different, and that's always kind of fun. So be interesting to see how these towns in Florida, how many are unique like that. Spent way too much time, not too much, but more than I thought. So I'm heading on to Otter Creek, which is the next small town on the list. And those are the only 2 towns I'm going to visit, at least film today, before I head down to Fort Lauderdale. I was leaving Horseshoe Beach. From that direction, I came here, and there's the Jackson Waterhole, little historical site. I guess this is the waterhole, very unusual looking little area here, but historical place because Andrew Jackson, he was in 1818 was sent to Florida to protect citizens trying to settle here. He was basically trying to run off the Native Americans, and he ran into a couple of British Native American sympathizers, I guess you would say, and he killed them in this area, and it almost started a war between the 2 countries again, because at that time there was a peace treaty between England and the United States. So interesting little historical spot. Who'd have known, down here by Horseshoe Beach. Just west of Otter Creek, I noticed there was a little dot on the map called Elsie, and so there's a church, and then down a very, very interesting looking path, there's a cool cemetery. So if you're ever in Otter Creek, it might be something else to check out. Another really cool town, Otter Creek. I really enjoyed that. It was like every corner there was something new, old, weird. So yeah, that was a good visit. So I'm kind of done visiting the towns for the day, and I've got almost 6 hours to get to the Fort Lauderdale area, which I'll be staying tonight. And the reason I'm gonna just go straight there is because I'm staying near where there's a highlight game tonight. And if you watched, I put out a video already about highlight, kind of the ghost sport. I'm fascinated by the history of highlight, and I actually went and saw highlight years ago, and then when I was starting the YouTube channel, I thought, this might be kind of interesting. I don't know, you don't see a lot of highlight videos. I am going on the non-toll road directions, which doesn't take me that much longer, maybe 20 minutes. I guess if I need to hustle, I could hop on and pay some tolls, but it's like $20 of tolls, which I know that's not a ton, but it's, tolls are kind of crazy nowadays, and people just pay them. And so I'm doing the non-toll road to Fort Lauderdale. We'll see if it goes through some interesting places. It goes through some really beautiful places. Like right now, this drive is awesome. Just saw a advertisement at a gas station for live baby gators. Definitely know you're in Florida. So we just had a little traffic jam, and the reason that heading south was a traffic jam was because there was a wreck on the other side of the highway. So obviously people just wanted to slow down and look at what was going on over there. We were slowed down to 20 miles an hour for a good mile or so. Come on, people. About 50 miles from Fort Lauderdale and I'm stuck in traffic, so we'll see if I make the highlight match. It starts at 7, which is in 9 minutes, so I'm definitely not going to make the beginning. And I wasn't planning on making the beginning or being there the whole time. I'm guessing it takes a couple hours to play a highlight match, so if I can get there by 8 o'clock, that gives me a good hour. That's going to get plenty of footage. Yeah, love sitting in traffic. It's the best. The highlight was a lot of fun. It was a lot better than the first time I went many years ago. Nicer, there were people there. Last time there was nobody there. So anyways, I'll I guess try to make a video out of that. I'm not sure how I'll do that, but if you've seen it, then you'll know. But sitting here trying to figure out, it's a different kind of video, but it was fun. I think it'll be something that people might enjoy a little bit. So heading to the hotel, it's about 10 minutes away. I think I'm near the beach, but I don't know for sure. I got a decent deal on a hotel and I'm pretty sure it's near the beach, but it's gonna be hard to see in the dark. Maybe in the morning it'll be a nice way to get the day started. Not easy to find my room here. 2414. That's what I want. There it is. I think the beach is right out there. What a great way to wake up and be able to just literally walk out my door and go to the beach. Got a pretty good deal. Obviously it's winter time, so it's not as expensive to stay on the beach. So that's nice. And I would love to just go out there and hang out on the beach all day, but I got plenty of that, you know, heading to Key West. So this is actually going to be the final day of this trip to get to Key West. I've got a few places I want to go, and they're kind of interesting because they're all within the city. You know, there's 3 places down here. I'm gonna see if I can go to all 3, I'm not sure. And one of them is Indian Creek. If you watch the video, you know what happened there. So that's, you know, private place where all these rich people live, not being able to go on there. So just kind of flying the drone around it. But yeah, so then I'm gonna pick up my brother and my sister-in-law from the Fort Lauderdale airport, and then we're gonna drive down to Key West and hang out for a few days. So definitely excited to see my family and have some fun down in Key West. It's been a fun adventure to get to this point, and hopefully we got one more fun day of adventuring left before it's vacation time. I'm gonna give the hotel a 5 out of 5. a little begrudgingly because the 5 categories, you know, it passed. Comfortable bed, it's very clean. The shower was terrific, good towel, and the coffee was good this morning, even though the breakfast area was a little weird. So it was it was a nice place to go and hang out, but then you kind of go back in this room and you get some coffee. And didn't have much really to offer. But the coffee was actually pretty good. The checking in process for the hotel, and it's like the address for the hotel is not the place that you check in, and it was confusing. And I called the number and I got a text message back saying, "Who's this?" And then I said, "I'm just trying to check in the hotel," and they responded, "Well, go here." Like, just kind of an odd way to check in. But the 5 categories, it passes 5 out of 5. So once, if you can get past the kind of, you know, nightmarish way to check in, then it's all good. And obviously you got the you got the beach right here, so can't beat that. If you're wondering how I travel on the road and what my vehicle looks like, here's a little behind the scenes of what it's like to travel with me. So this is actually much neater than it's been, but because I'm getting ready to help, you know, put my brother and my sister-in-law in here. But yeah, so I always got a bunch of water. I've got a couple suitcases, and that's all my dirty clothes, by the way. I just kind of throw dirty clothes back there. I'm gonna do laundry hopefully when I get to Key West. And then my drone hangs out back here. Obviously I take it in a hotel room. I don't leave it out here, but these are some, you know, just stuff I'm gonna always need to reach back here and grab when he stops somewhere. And this is kind of funny. You think there's a big suitcase full of electronic stuff that I carry, but this is it. And so I've got all kinds of chargers and wires and suction cups and all kinds of stuff down in there. So yeah, high tech. And then up here, basically I got maps, and I got my Florida stuff that I'm going to be referring to. Yeah, there we go. Chapstick. Definitely need the chapstick. Yeah, this is where it all happens. Hi. For the record, I do hate driving in cities. I love living in Wichita, Kansas, because there's 500,000 people in that area, but which is more than most people think. But the traffic is never, you know, bad. And even the traffic here, this is not bad traffic. Obviously, it's way worse many days and times of the year. But yeah, I just, you know, it's nice to come visit a place like this, pass through, stay for a night or two. You wouldn't know it by driving down this portion of A1A, but right over there is Haugen Clothing Optional Beach. Good times. Right before we get to Indian Creek. So I'm right next to Indian Creek in the town of Surfside, or city of Surfside, and trying to figure out a place to fly the drone from so I can get a view of Indian Creek. I went right up to the police station, literally where you cross the bridge over into Indian Creek. If you watch the 10 smallest towns in Florida video, you know that it's like private property, you can't get in there. And incredibly, maybe the most exclusive place that there is in the United States. And so now, I mean, I could just park on the side of the street. It's so busy that, you know, the thing about flying a drone in some of these places is when it's really quiet, you can hear it for a long ways away. And so here you won't be able to hear it because there's so much noise everywhere. So it's more just about trying to find a place that's not, you know, I guess so obvious, but probably doesn't matter. People aren't going to care. around here. So yeah, but there's a park not far away from Indian Creek here, so I'm gonna go check it out and we'll see if we can fly from there. They have a rule that you can't go in the park if you don't have a child. So I guess I understand that rule, but don't have a child. So I think I'm just gonna park on the street and try to fly it and just be inconspicuous here. Oh, shoot. Shoot, I'm going the wrong way. I'm literally going the wrong way, down one way. Okay. Got my drone shot in. If you're wondering, I am a certified drone pilot. I've taken the tests and all that kind of stuff, certified commercial drone pilot. So mostly flying, that was mostly over the water. There was a short little strip of land to go over, but yeah, so a lot of different, I get a lot of questions about drone flying, and definitely get certified, and then you'll not have issues if somebody is asking you. Still got to follow the rules, and there's places you can't fly. It takes a lot longer to do videos in these incredibly large cities than in a small town out in the rural areas. So I'm gonna push the other places that I was hoping to see till after Christmas on my way back. I've got some time, I've mentioned, and a little more time actually than on the way down. So I'm gonna push that, and I think this was the hardest one to try to get, and wanted to make sure I got this footage of Indian Creek. So now I'm just gonna, I'm 13 miles away from the airport, but it's like an hour to the airport, and it's 11:20. They're supposed to land in about an hour and a half, so I think I'm gonna just head that way and be ready to greet them when they get here and head to Key West. Thank you for indulging me these past few weeks on the behind the scenes videos. They're not like the normal videos I do, but they've been pretty popular, so I appreciate it very much. If you want to see where the adventure continues, you can watch this Key West Christmas video I did hanging out with my family for a few days. It was a lot of fun, and once again, thank you for all the support, and we will see you next time.